Hey, how is everybody? It is Morgan Quaid here, obviously. Unfortunately, missing Sizzle from this night's broadcast. So wherever you are, Sizzle, fighting crime and whatnot, we are with you, and go well, go Shell, and all of that sort of stuff. So tonight we have the one and only Spedsy to talk about a new Kickstarter campaign, among which there is a new comic called Sluggish, which is fantastic. So without further ado, I will bring on Spedsy right now as I hit buttons. Let's go. Is that the new one?
That was abrupt.
That's not the normal one. That's a different one.
Oh, anyway. We're in a thing called. We're in a wrong thing.
We're in a different place. This is hey, all right. Give me 2 seconds, and you didn't appear, and this happened. That's more familiar.
Move.
Hey, welcome.
Hey,
how are you this fine, wonderful night?
I'm good, man. Just some behind the scenes stuff. All the images are now in a different thingy. So
well, we can switch to that thingy, and then I'll just come back when we're done with that thingy, and we'll do this thingy when we get to the second bit of the thing. Clear as day. Oh, colors! Look at that. All right. Welcome to the Bizarro Universe ComX podcast. So we might as well get right into it. Thank you, sir, for joining us, or me, as it is tonight. So we're here to talk about your latest Kickstarter, your first Kickstarter. Is that correcto?
My first Kickstarter, yeah.
Fantastic. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what's on offer in the Kickstarter, and then we might have a little bit of a squiz at it and then dig a bit deeper with details and such.
Well, there are 3 books up for G-Rabs. That would be The Devil's Toilet 3. For those playing at home, that collects the 3 chapters of Frederick Trelawney, You Bloody Ripper, parts 1, 2, and 3, plus a whole bunch of cool art in the back from some of our fellow community peeps. Then there's a book called Sluggish, Sluggish number 1. That is a slug by the name of Herb, who he swears it is not a story. He's not the narrator. He's just a slug that's just living, trying to get by. He laments the fact that he actually has no story, and in a way, I guess, goes looking for one. Does he find it? We'll
have to wait and see.
Yeah. And then we have Vamoose 3, which is what I refer to as an awesome Australian anthology. 3 A's. It means we're the top of the white pages. And that collects some of the greatest creators in Australia to tell stories based around one common theme. And that common theme for issue 3 is robots and rowboats. For the most part, the stories from each person take that super literally, and there features some robots and some rowboats. And then other people go a little bit, what do you call it? Give me a cool word.
Metaphorical, or a little bit, allegorical.
Deep down, we're all metaphorically a rowboat of some sort.
People there's a rowboat in. There's a rowboat in all of us.
Or so, yeah.
Is there? Get it? Or because of the.
Oh,
yeah.
Didn't have to paddle far for that one. No. Yeah, so that's about the gist of it. You can get all 3 books, or you can get 1, 2, or 3. Yeah, and there's all kinds of stretch goals and all that stuff that I'm terrified about. I pulled the what do you call it? Pulled the ripcord.
Pulled the pin. Pulled the ripcord. Yeah.
People told me that it was time, that I was ready. I doubted them, but here we are, and it's going pretty good. So can't complain.
It's going great. We're going to have a look at the campaign shortly. It is one decent bid or a couple of bids or a couple of backers away from reaching the first goal, which would be fantastic. So we're going to dig in and have a little look through that one. So anyone that's on there, if you haven't backed now, anyone listening, watching, that's all you can do. Listen and watch. Anyone, get in and have a look. So if you go to Dave, the links, if you just go in and search for the Devil's Toilet initially, it will pop up, unless you've got a short link or something. But if you just search at the moment for the Devil's Toilet.
Yeah, or you can just type in Spedsy.comx.studio. And that will take you where you need to be. Oh, and are we getting a guy? Are you here, Sis, or what?
Ba-bam!
Hey,
come on. Sorry. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to make it at all, but I'd finished what I was doing a lot quicker than I expected. So
I feel like I'm properly on the show now. Thanks for having me, guys. Not that, hey, Morgs, it was a proper show.
Thank you.
I don't mean that it was a. I'm just saying that it. I wanted to be on the. I wanted to get the true, full experience.
You want the full deal, yeah.
You don't want to go on.
Just to be a pain in the butt, Spedsy, can you send me all those pictures in a zip file right now to my email?
If you change the thing, I can just re-upload them all. Would you like me to do that?
Okay, yeah, I'll change the thing then.
Yeah, change
the thing. I'll tell you what. While we're doing this, which is thrilling for the viewer, let me just add.
Yeah, of course.
I'm just going to I'm going to share screens, and I'm going to show. Can we see this up here?
Yes, we can.
All right.
What I'll do is, so we can see it bigger. There you go.
Fantastic. All right, so we'll dig in now. I'm particularly keen to get involved with Sluggish because I've got tons of questions about it. I've been privileged enough to have a sneak peek, and I absolutely loved it. So I will be blowing much wind up your skirt, or whatever the saying is, smoke up your.
Let me just grab my skirt, and I'm ready.
There'll be a lot of that going on. But let's have a look. So I'll scroll through if you like, and then if you we've explained what the kind of three main components are.
Actually, I'll take us off the screen so we can see it fully.
Sweet. See you fully in a minute. Yeah, so what you're seeing there is the Devil's Toilet 3. Why is there no 3 on the cover, you ask? Because Gary Deller at Reverie is the gentleman that puts the 3 on there. And as yet, he had not prepared the print files. It since has a 3. If that's throwing you off, if that's stopping you from bidding, just let me know. I can dump in an image with a 3 on it.
So anyone that bids, anyone that backs this tier, they're going to get one with a 3. Is that correct?
Yes, I can guarantee that all backers will get the numeral 3.
We get a 3
on the cover. Yes,
fantastic. Oh, so nice. Okay, so there's some sample pages. That's awesome.
Yeah, so it shows. So we get to meet Frederick Cheloney, who is new to the Devil's Toilet / Spedsy'Verse. Yeah, so do you want me to? Should I talk a lot? What do you want me to do?
Just keep talking. I'm gonna go through. So that's we'll do a quick run through first. So that's the first one. Second one, Vermouth 3.
3. You can see there's a 3 there. So you know that it is the third one. I know then you're confused because the covers further down have no 3s. As explained, I've not gone through to Gary at Reverie yet, who is my 3-man. You can see a list there of some of my favorite creators in Australia. We could go through them one by one, and I could tell you how amazing they are. But there are some sample pages a little further down. You get a little bit of a taste from everybody. Very, very proud of this book. It's a lot of fun to put together, and it's a lot of fun basically to just have things pop up in my inbox, and I get to read all these really cool stories based around weird little themes that me and Nick May put together.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is really cool. Now, here it is. This is the main event for me. And I'll explain why in a little bit, but yeah, I just love this. First of all, I love the color palette. I love the different shades of kind of greeny gray. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I believe that's
I love it.
Official.
And just so people know how to get here. Sorry, I'll just interrupt.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
That's it. Yep. See, we couldn't have done this without you.
we were struggling, buddy. We were struggling.
I was resorted to saying those words out loud.
So tell us a little bit about. Well, actually, no. We'll get to that in a tick. So this is Sluggish. Tell us a little bit about it, and then we'll dig in a little bit more.
Yeah. So Sluggish is a book that I wanted to do for a long time. It's just somehow just popped into existence over the Christmas holidays. It's a 22-page story with some little cool bits and stuff in the back and in the front. It's a fun book that'll make you sad.
That's a great way to describe it, actually. That's really clever.
That is, actually. Yeah, I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And no spoilers, but the ending cracked me up. I'm sorry.
Cool. Okay,
yeah, go.
Well, I was just going to say, so we've got digital rewards. We've got a ton of different tiers to choose from. Digital, print. I just noticed the boxes.
Have a look though. Go back for a sec. Now, why is his jacket missing between his legs? He's got this weird jacket that only has sides but no back.
Ooh.
I'll have to get in contact with the art team and tell them to drop the ball on that one.
Well, it could be caught up behind the back of the elastic around his dacks at the back there.
He's just gotten off the toilet and it's accidentally tucked in his boxes. Nice. Explain it away. Done.
It takes an artist to notice that that's even missing. I didn't notice it.
I didn't notice it when I drew it and put it up there, but anyway.
And we've got, there are a ton of stretch goals here. Yeah.
So I'm sure that there are people, veterans of the Kickstarter, who are looking at that and just going, dude, you can't seriously think. And no, I don't seriously think, especially later in the later ones, they have disclaimers in it. I know they're not getting there, but it's, be prepared just in case. But I wanted to have something to shoot for, not just have, I don't know, another print. I don't know. So I just wanted to, and, I think they would be cool, especially the 5,000 to do a radio play.
With, the one I'm aiming for. That's what I want happening.
Like that's still a lofty goal, but it's within some slight possibility. You know what I mean?
And it's a nice, unique stretch goal as well. There's not, I haven't seen any radio plays on offer, so that's a really nice, cool one. So we are at. Oh my goodness! While we were
holy moly!
While we were talking,
holy moly! Thank you so much to that. Well, thank you so much to everybody. But holy moly!
So we are $1 away, people. So it could happen. I'll stop sharing and we'll pop back in a little bit later because we might even do it during the show. And that's a first for us, I think, Sizzle, to get a thing funded while we're on the show.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm going to text my wife and just tell her to drop $1 in there so we can get
over that hump. All right, cool. Well, that was great. So, sluggish. So I loved it. I love the idea. I love the way it started. I love the tone. Because depression or self-introspection, those sorts of things are not a common thing that are dealt with, particularly not with a comical kind of style. One of the things I loved about it was how instantly relatable Herb is in terms of his own monologue. It's will not be disappointed. It is amazing.
I agree.
I love the relatable nature of the character and the fact that within a minute I'm immediately thinking I have thought that thought. I can so empathize with this guy, and he's a slug, but I can still empathize with him. And as the story continues, just about every encounter that he has, I think, yeah, I've either been there or I've known someone that's been there, or I can completely get it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about where the origin of the story came from, and what was it about this story that really appealed? Why you wanted to tell the sluggish story?
Well, there's like 4 different answers. So there's a book called Heaps. It's an anthology put together by Josh Chodziesner. And he invited me. Did he invite me, or did I invite myself? I may have forced myself in there to be part of an issue. And I did a 4-page. Hopefully, I've got one here.
Sorry, Spedsy, just while you're doing that, just give me two seconds. I just have to very quickly announce you've just made it.
No way! Oh,
yeah!
Holy moly,
that's awesome!
So you've just hit it. So now it begins. Everyone gets it. We get the thing.
Thank you so much to everybody. Anyway, that
do we have a celebration thing? Is there a thing you can do which like pops a? No, we don't have one of them.
Yeah,
no,
I mean,
next time.
Every time it went up a bid, my wife said, "Why aren't you dancing?" And I said, "I don't know. I'll dance when it's funded. Maybe." I think I owe her a dance.
Yeah, that's so sorry. Let's get back to sluggish. That's congrats, by the way, buddy. That's great.
Yeah,
that's
awesome. Thank you. That's freaking amazing, and thank you to you two. I still said you 3 because there's 3 people on the screen. Thanks to you 3. The guy down the bottom in particular, you really like helped me out a lot. Yeah, couldn't have done it without the guy down the bottom.
He did the bulk of the work, to be fair.
Yeah, so I did this this little thing called Mule. Now this is in black and white, but its color palette was the same. Was that color palette that's in Sluggish, and this. It's only 4 pages, but it ventures very close to feels. Like it tiptoes around that this guy's a mule. He thinks he's awesome. But then the more he speaks, like you can see, he says, baby, I'm a freaking mule. And then as it goes on, and each time he tries to exclaim that he's a mule gets smaller and more squished. And because he realizes maybe I'm not that cool. So I really liked that, and I liked it was 4 panels on a page, which kind of made it feel like storyboards more than a layout, sort of like a comic booky layout. So I said to Nick May, "Do you want to do a book called Vamoose, which will be like fast, like we're not going to spend 10 hours a page like I do on Devil's Toilet, just 4 panels and like." It's a simple and it's just fun stories that, and so I went about doing Old Man Biscuit, and he was going to delve deep into his, he's a man with regrets and lets those regrets get the best of him and all that sort of stuff. It was a greenish palette. And then Nick May sent me a page of his stuff, and it was so beautiful and vibrant and amazing and so much going on. I was like, I can't do my 4 panel almost monochrome green. I need to go full on. So you can actually see. Should I even show that?
Exclusives.
You can see like for now when people get sluggish, you can see the makings of. So you can see it starts like it's 4 panels. Lots of close-ups, there was lots of greens. He originally had sort of green skin, not because he had green skin, but that was just the tones of the page. And then right about here is when I start seeing Nick May stuff, and Nick May did a lot of 9-panel pages, so I tried to amp it up 9-panel pages and bring in a few more colors. And so anyway, cut to Steve Saul. Awesome dude who reviews my comics very favorably.
That's because they're awesome.
But he always, and rightly so, ends the review with a similar line, which says, if you come looking for the answers to the meaning of life or whatever, don't come to Spedsy's book. These are, these books are about good times, or something to that effect.
And then yeah.
And I was sort of like, I loved it. I totally agree, but I was like, there's a challenge in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was ready to meet that challenge. So a big, it's a write what you know, and what I know is that I have a weird brain, and I'm not alone in my weirdness, and that I think people would relate and want to read about a weird brain, and sort of maybe with my infusing a bit of my humor in it, maybe talk about it and take a little bit of the sting off a little bit. And then there's the case of my favorite character of mine, the one that's endured the longest, is the Devil's Toilet, because he's a square with eyes, really fun, easy to draw. And so I have a job as an illustrator for a company where I draw all kinds of things, like corporate sort of, those ads you see on TV where there's a hand drawing and it says, "Have you fallen off a ladder at work?" And there's a guy's hand. Well, sometimes that's my hand. And so I got a job where they wanted a school bus, and the school bus the teachers were aliens and the bus driver was an alien. So I drew these aliens, and then I sent one. And just before I clicked send, it was the prototype of what would come to known as Herb from Sluggish. And just before I clicked send, I was like, oh, I think I'll keep that one. There's something cool about him. So I sent the aliens, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so Herb, super fun, easy to draw. And so it's sort of then the idea, I was like, well, he looks like Jabba the Hutt mixed with a condom full of poo. I don't know. He's kind of a slug. And then I was like, holy shit, Sluggish. He's my depressed character that I've been looking for. He just totally fit the monochromy greeny palette, and it's just it was a marriage made in heaven. And it was so fun to put together because a lot of it I wrote while I was drawing. I knew the situations because I'd lived them. And I just knew that, all right, well, when I used to go to work, I used to go and have a shower. And when I had a shower, I'd spend so long making the shower perfect that I'd forget to enjoy the shower and all that sort of stuff. And so the whole thing wrote itself. That's kind of the Sluggish story. It happened. I had 3 parts of Cheloney due for Sizzle. And as Sizzle will attest, I only just scraped in the deadline every time. And it was a big chunk of work over a period of time. And so when Christmas holidays came, Vamoose, everybody had handed in their Vamoose except for Nick May and myself. But I just didn't want to draw. So I just wanted to draw a bit more fun and chill and less rules and whatever. Over the Christmas holidays. And Sluggish just kind of went from an idea that I was banging around talking to Quick Nick Cleary about, talking to Sizzle about, and then it just kind of happened. And then I found myself having 3 books ready at the same time. Kieran Jack had told me, "You're ready for a Kickstarter. Why aren't you doing a Kickstarter?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I'm there yet, Yeah. And then I was like, well, 3 books at the same time feels like the right time. So yeah,
it is nice. And it's nice to have your first one with 3 books is really good because one is great, but always a little disappointing when you get it and it's like, oh, but it's over quickly. So that is very nice. I also have to say, this is an idea you can take or leave, but marketing Morgan is on the case. And I've got to say, if you get a T-shirt done with Herb on it, with "Brains are weird" written over the top, gold mine. That is, people are gonna, because even you obviously have to support the campaign to get the book to read the little thing, but that even before I got started, that was stuck in my head as like that is such a good It just says so much, and it's so fun. And
because you're referring to the disclaimer that I put in the front. Only because I guess I wanted to let people know that, like, I'm not looking from the outside and poking fun at people with mental health, whatever. Like, I'm all right now with but I've been in the trenches and I know and I understand, and the book is not me poking fun at the disease. It's me poking fun at my own experience. And, in a way, I feel like my 30s just kind of flew by because I spent so much of it in this hole that I don't know. It kind of feels like a celebration, or not a celebration, but it just like I don't know. I came out of it with something that I'm proud of.
It does. And again, I don't want to give anything away, but there is a underlying kind of hopeful message. There's humor, but also, again, as we were saying, it's so relatable and whether you've suffered from depression or just those moments in life or the uncertainty, even like the whole of adolescence and these other periods, it's so relatable straight away. You can see, I get that. I get where this character is, and I'm there with him going through that exact same thing, and the self-reflection and all that sort of stuff. It's just beautifully crafted. It's really well done, and you can just see. I don't know. It feels like a little bit like lightning in a bottle, where all the things have you can see they've worked at the right time in the right place, and it's all come together. And it's just there's also, I don't know what it's called. The falling feather from Life is Like a Box of Chocolates. I won't do the accent.
Forrest Gump.
The falling feather at the start, falling feather at the back. I had a lecturer that used to say it was this thing called inclusio. I don't even know if that's a real thing, but it's basically like framing a story with a thing at the start and a thing at the end, or the same sort of reference points coming through. And even there were some moments in there, and it just has this lovely movement. Anyway, I'm going to go on. There's so many things that I can say, so I'll stop because I'll give you my way.
Keep talking.
It was just very good. And I don't know if you meant to put all this stuff in there. And frankly, I don't care because it's in there, and it has a wonderful symmetry to the story, that the two distinct movements, and it's really cool. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for reading it, wanting to read it, and being so complimentary, both of you. But yes, there is a lot of very deliberate. Like, for instance, he's riding a bus, and I wish maybe had it anyway, but I think it does it. It's very simple imagery, but I think it gets across what I'm trying to. So basically, he's looking out the window, but blocking the window is his thoughts, basically. And then the more 3 panels later, the bushes and stuff outside become more visible, and his thoughts dissipate for just a second, and he's able to catch the scenery. And those are those sweet moments, and then he's at a party, and the people are thick black lines and very, as colorful as the book can be. They're colorful. And then as he gets more comfortable, the backdrop disappears until he's just on a white background, because nothing else matters in that moment. And then there's a snap.
Even I thought that. I don't know all that sort of stuff. So
so
even I got that vibe from it. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. And then so there was meant to be then like a poetry aspect to then like the things that he did at the start and was super depressed during. He's now doing them at the end, and while he's still not the happiest Larry in the land of Larrys, there's a positiveness to to it all. I'm so glad you connected with it. There were a few people who have been excited to see it, and I started getting really scared that it wasn't.
I'll see it and go, Oh, it wasn't really what I expected.
Wait, this is just the Devil's Toilet poop jokes, but with a green slug now. Why don't these are the same poo jokes?
Or there's not enough poo jokes. Where are all the poo jokes we're used to?
Yeah.
That's a concern. Anytime you put something out, particularly. So for me, the first moment it might have been last time you were on here, or the first time you mentioned it, and then the first time I saw a little bit of the cover or one of the images, I was immediately interested. I thought that and even the idea of a slug with depression kind of thing, it just is amazing. But you've done an amazing job. It's just a really, really nice. Like I said, it just seems like everything came together at the right moment, and it's great. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
So I've only read it once, and I'm immediately I wanted to go back and reread it, but I didn't, because I wanted to be a bit more curious and stuff and the thing. But that I'm going to read it again and again. It's one of those things I'm going to read a few times, just because it's quite a poignant comic. Anyway, enough of the wind.
Mine were pretty high, and you surpassed them. Seriously, that was when I read that. I read it again. I didn't not read it again. I read it again because I was like, that was awesome, and read it again.
Yeah.
Wow.
And again, so I know you. There's a novelist inside you. That's a weird thing to say. I know that you've written novels as well. Yeah. So I know that there's that side to you as well, but and also the music and lyrics and that whole thing. You can just see it has a very lyrical kind of movement to it, and it's just very well crafted. Pleasure, just such a pleasure to read. So get out there, people, and back this campaign, which people already are. So we're up to 33 backers now.
Wow.
So, you've got this as your first sort of foray into kickstarting. You've got a bunch of stretch goals. You've got different rewards, all of that sort of stuff. What was the most daunting thing about this process? And what is the best advice you've been given so far? Or what was the thing that kind of tipped you over the edge and made you think, you know what, damn it, I'm just going to do it?
So got lots of advice from Sizzle and from Gary Della at Reverie, and then just from people like Nick May and Hayden Sparrow, just my sounding board dudes. Mm-hmm. But the main sort of thing was just like, I'm a backer of Kickstarters. I'm a lover of comics, and I tried to not do the things that I don't like about other things and do the things that I do like about other things, if that makes sense.
Yeah, total sense.
Like not here to cast judgment on whatever works for everyone, but just like as a Kickstarter backer, I just, there are some things that I'm like, oh, I wouldn't do it that way. And then there's other things like, oh, that's how you do it. Holy moly. Like I was a bit hesitant to put up all the stretch goals, only because I didn't want to kind of give away those ideas, if that makes sense. Like that I'm not inventing the wheel here. People have done all this stuff before, but no one's done a radio play starring Dave Dye, so come at me.
True. Come at me, bro.
Yeah. And it was actually Jason Paulos the other night I was speaking to, who was like, don't save your good ideas, just get them out. And that's why I was like, well, I'm just going to I don't know if I'm going to do another Kickstarter again. Like this was just like this perfect storm of like, I stumbled upon 3 books at the same time. The germ of the idea to do a Kickstarter was that I do this cheeky book called Vamoose, where I get these amazing artists and writers to join in, and then I pay them nothing.
Genius.
So,
genius.
Yeah. So, I mean, the books don't, they make enough money to pay for their print run and, and then sell a few copies on top. Like it's a fun project more than anything, but I'd really like to, part one is I'd really like to pay people, even if it's just a couple of shekels. So I thought with Vamoose 5 that I would do a Kickstarter and make it a big deal. Here we are with Vamoose 3, and it just sort of, I don't know, it all just was falling into place. And I was like, screw Vamoose 5, it's Vamoose 3, let's go for it. Yeah, but then I overcompensated and chucked 2 other books in because I was scared of not being able to get there with one.
Great trick.
Thanks. And then, so I since sent an email to all the contributors to Vamoose and just laid out the finances just in case they thought, oh, Rob's sitting on a cool million over there, and it's like, here's how much these cost and that costs and everything, and I'm going to give you this much of this much, and keeping it on Front Street as to how broke the whole psychojanitor of it all is.
Yeah, that's one of the things. If you've run a Kickstarter, if you've built your own comics, you get it. If you haven't, you may not get it. You might see a figure on the screen, but the actual figure you take away and that you can use is much, much, much smaller.
Yeah. And it's like, so I want to keep the books as cheap as possible. There's nothing worse than a $20 book and a $20 shipping, and you just want a comic. So you want to keep the books as cheap as possible, keep the shipping as cheap as possible. And so, as you know, and I've learned from Shane here and from Gary Della at Reverie that just if you break even, that's a win. So that's what I'm looking for. I'd like to break even and have some cool books in some cool people's hands. Yeah. And I would.
That's for books, not money, by the way. That was books.
I'd love to. I mean, my dream would be for Vamoose to be a thing where I could I could reach out to so and so and say, hey, you want to get a decent page rate? Come to Vamoose. This is where the money is, baby. But until then, it's just a fun little book.
Great. Well, and it's one of those things as well. There's a you've got an opportunity to build a following. One of the good things about Kickstarter, obviously, is you can reach people you can't physically reach at a con, or they might not find you another way, but they can find you there. And even if it's only 10, 20, 30 people, that's 10, 20, 30 people that didn't know about the stuff that you've got, and that next time will automatically know it's up and running. And, that's part of the reason why we all do it. It's to meet people that are interested and fans and all that sort of stuff. It's probably too early in the piece, but I would be interested once this thing's been going for a while on how you find the overall experience of interacting with people during because there is I've heard it described that, Kickstarter's kind of like being at a con with lined up next to all of these other creators with their little, stalls. It's kind of like that, but on an international scale, and a little bit weird because you're next to someone that's selling a bike light that also opens cans and, weird sort of devices like that. So it's that kind of thing. So I'm interested to see how you find actually running it can be exhausting, but also how you find running the thing and interacting with people during the process and how things change for most of the movie.
Yeah, one thing is I want to interact as little as possible with those that have already backed. I know that sounds horrible, but I've been misunderstood. I misunderstood myself. No, I was speaking to. I know I keep mentioning his name, but he's my guy, Gary at Reverie. He was like, "Oh, you just send an update," and I was like, "Well, I'm scared that all creative types have this to a certain extent of feeling like a fraud, and I'm scared of reminding people that they put $30 on or whatever, and then you get an email saying, "Oh, I'm fully funded, you guys, and now we're moving to the stretch goal." And it's like, oh yeah, I put $30 on that thing, didn't I? A just pledge. You know what I mean?
So can I give you some advice?
Please.
In my limited capacity. So I think this is my 4th campaign I'm on now. So not a huge amount, but enough to and I've spoken to a lot of guys about this. My current campaign, I've sent 22 updates, which is a fair bit. I have posted so much on social media, I'm convinced everyone's going to unfollow me. And I've had probably 1% or less than 1% that have cancelled. There is no rhyme or reason as to how people have cancelled. And you're right. We have this inbuilt thing where we think, I just sent out an update and someone cancelled. Oh, yeah. It's because they hate me and they hate what I'm doing and they've changed their mind. They don't want it. 9 times out of 10, they have to pay rent. They forgot that they didn't have that money. Life circumstances have changed. They've lost their job, whatever. We don't know any of that stuff, but you assume it's because of you and your messaging. Yeah. It's just not. It's really not. And I have not had one complaint. I mean, you've seen how much stuff out there. It's ridiculous. No complaints. No kind of like, can you please stop messaging me? None of that stuff. So it's one of those things that and talk to guys that run these campaigns and have done it for years, like Darren, and all these guys, and they'll tell you, no, it'll feel like you're doing it too much. But as a backer, the other thing is, as a backer, when you've backed campaigns, have you ever thought, oh, this person's just sending too much stuff? You just delete the email. Have you ever felt turned off enough that you would adjust your pledge?
No, not for any one person. I do get, because when you've backed like 5 campaigns in the space of whatever, and your email just constantly says Kickstarter, I do get a little bit of what the like. So I end up not really seeing any because there's too many, but not from any one person. And you're someone who I do, and I'm not just because you're here, but I do find I still follow you. I have not unfollowed you because all your updates are enjoyable, and I'm genuinely interested. And I guess that's the hurdle I've just got to pretend that everyone's generally interested. I mean, I assume they are because they backed it, but I've just got to tell my weird brain that is the case, that it's not a pity bid.
No,
it's not.
It's a really, it is.
These are fans. I keep trying to tell you this. Fans.
Yeah. we it's like we can't accept the fact that people would like our stuff enough to be a fan, which is absurd. It's absolutely absurd, but that's the way a lot of creators think, that but why would you like my stuff? When I hope tonight, at least, you've seen already how, I mean, we got you funded. Thanks,
I mean, you're welcome. You're
welcome. But also just the amount of love that you're seeing coming through, and yes, you will get this. There's another thing that in this sort of whole thing, it's like, but a certain percentage of guys and gals that are backing me, they just know me and they like me, and I back their stuff, and there's a certain amount of that. Of course there is. That doesn't mean that they're any less of a fan of your work, but also there's going to be people that you don't know that will just find your stuff, which is. It's a really hard thing to enjoy, but I'm trying to let myself enjoy when someone says, "Oh, I really like this. I just found this thing, man. It's really great." Don't let yourself think, "No, I'm a charlatan. This thing's not going to." They take them at their word. If they say they love it, they love it.
It is a tricky thing. Like, so I played in a band, but so we would have people that would come to the shows regularly, and then because they came regularly, we became friends, and then there are some that I'm still friends. There's one of them now. No, me and Dan were friends. We created comics together back in the day. So I don't like to say the word, but fans become it feels wrong. I can't do it. But people that friends that have enjoyed your creative endeavors, and I forget what my point was, but the sweet thing is there are 2 people that bidded on the campaign that bought my CDs like 20 years ago, who are
on this campaign,
who have stuck with me through all my nonsense.
That is great.
Like bought my novels, I just bought into the whole Spedsy bullshit of it all.
Yeah,
I mean, right. Mark's someone. Yeah, Mark's not faking it. He's buying everyone's books and watching all our shows, and
super supporter.
Yeah, super supporter. He's amazing.
Well, so hopefully tonight has given you a bit of a boost, and just try and ignore that inner voice, because we all love it and we're all wanting more, and we want you to succeed, and all of your backers want you to succeed, and they want more backers because stretch goals. That's the whole mechanism at work. So yes, and again, I'll if I start on sluggish again, I'll just keep going. So I won't say any more. But you know how I feel about that. It's a triumph.
You're awesome.
So we are a bee's knee away from moving into the second section of the.
Oh, we are too. God, I wasn't watching the time
of the night. I'm going to.
Oh, that's where you kicked me off, right? I was like, oh, cool. I can't remember what the section is. Let's go. Let's do it.
Well, no. Before we kick you off, we have the gifting section, which I haven't had a chance to talk to Sizzle. I have done something. I haven't sent it through.
Oh,
yeah.
Spoilers! You did it while I was sitting here.
Yeah, I did it earlier. The only thing is, I can't finish the night without the obligatory. You're in a car. Herb is in the back. Oh, does Subway have a drive? They don't have a drive-through. You're going through the bottle-o. No, let's just go McDonald's. We'll go the classic. All right, you're going through McDonald's. What does Herb order at the very, very end of the story? So right at the end. Yes, not at the beginning, not in the middle, at the end.
He probably would order a salad. Maybe like towards the start, I would say that he would probably order a large quarter pounder meal, with maybe an extra quarter pounder in there. Then by the end, I mean, yeah, body image is touched on in the book. Yeah, I would say he'd probably get a salad, maybe with a cheeky thick shake.
Nice.
Yeah.
A salad with a cheeky thick shake.
Yeah.
All right.
Full body
I like it. I like it. And then, of course, at the moment, where you currently are, favorite film, favorite food, what does that combination look like for you tonight?
Yeah. So my answer is actually probably the same as last time, because anytime someone says favorite movie, I studied screenwriting. My homework was watching 5 films a week, and I watched serious cinema, like French movies and think pieces, and now I'm just like, I've got enough stories and things bouncing around in my head. Just show me popcorn, show me things blowing up, show me monsters, show me superheroes. So me, it's Avengers: Infinity War. With a 3-piece feed from KFC, 2 ribs and a wing, potato and gravy, and a large Pepsi Max. Let's go.
Nice. Yes.
Are you missing the pie? Where's the pie?
I would have had the pie in the morning, a satay chicken pie with a cinnamon donut on the side. Get on it.
A load of sandwiches lunch though, hey?
I often skip lunch because I had a freaking pie for breakfast.
All right. Well, we're going to the gifting component.
I got nothing, man. I got nothing. I'm sorry.
I stuffed up my signature. That's how bad this is. I got my signature wrong. But here we go, sir. You will get a digital copy of this. But
it's amazing. It's amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
On the couch.
Oh, that's wicked.
And he's saying blah, and I stuffed up my signature, so I'll have to send a version with a proper signature that actually works.
Are you doing him in the same sketchbook every time?
I am doing. Yeah. So it is. It's.
Because that's a nice little piece of work by the end.
Sorry. I have to show you this. This is a first. You'll never. Okay, so I started with. Mr. Flex, man.
Sky from Sky's Cavern Library.
Hey! Yeah, so I started doing it in there. That's from the ears. Laura's book.
Lana Luca.
Lana Luca, yeah. That's Ben Kitty.
Ben Kitty, yeah. Awesome.
Which is recognizable. Oh, and there's a couple of there we go.
The budge.
Yeah. Oh yeah, tofu. Look at that. So it's got a lot of the Spearman, which didn't look much like a man. Lady smokes. So anyway, there's and that was the one from. So it's in there, but I don't know. I kid you not. I've just found this. This is in the same book. So I've had this book for years. I haven't really used it. Explain to me. Squeezing a granny to get. So sometimes I just write ideas.
I'll be honest. That's not your best. Like I wouldn't follow up Shadow's daughter with granny perfume.
But I think that was a concept idea. I don't think that was serious art. That was a concept. Anyway, so yeah, one day that'll be worth, I don't know, $10. I'll auction it off.
Dollars, man, dollars.
It'll be worth serious dollars. Well, thank you, Spedsy. It has been an absolute treat as always. Congrats on getting the campaign funded. And
well
much
done.
success. 28 days to go, people. Plenty of time. Let's get in and smash that campaign.
Yeah, I would love to. I mean, who am I kidding? I'm stoked that it's funded. We can leave it there. But reaching a stretch goal, just so I could say I reached a stretch goal, I don't know. That feels like part of the experience.
Absolutely.
I've got to make a little graphic that says now we get stretchy or whatever it is, and
nice.
Now we get stretchy. Maybe Herb with a stretchy T-shirt or something. Anyway, you're the ideas man. I'm just the guy that
the other ideas man. Yeah,
except for Granny Juice. So now I haven't. Sorry, Granny Juice is in my head now. I have to write a comic about Granny Juice. So Sizzle, I haven't read anything. I meant to. I've got them over there. I haven't read anything. I haven't got anything to unbox. So we could either try and fake it, or we could go straight. We could keep Spedsy here, and we could go straight to the end news promotional stuff, and then end it. It's up to
Spedsy you. Here.
Yeah, all right. We'll keep Spedsy in. So we're going to do it a little bit different.
Do you want me to show some people's art from Vamoose 3?
Awesome. Because I
go for
read
it.
Sluggish and Vamoose and Devil's Toilets 3. That's all I've read this week.
Now, just like a disclaimer, so as you saw at the start of the show, we had a panic upload. So not everyone in the book has been, it will be represented. So know that you're in my heart and in the book still. So this here is a page from, because it's, I love talking about myself, but Old Man Biscuit. It's a new adventure from him. It's called Space Cheese. That's a thing that I had years and years ago. Speaking of radio plays, I had a radio show on a local radio station, and we did a radio play called Space Cheese about a bunch of Star Wars-ish type, like a Han Solo and a Luke Skywalker type people traveling through the galaxy trying to find cheese. It's a whole thing. And here they are, the robots of the Space Cheese guys are stealing the memories of a dead Old Man Biscuit. So check that out. And look, he's in a rowboat, and those there are robots. See, this thing all comes together.
Metaphorical.
Yeah. And then this is a tale by the name of Humpty Dumpty. I don't know if you're aware of it, but there's much more to that poem than meets the eye. There's a whole second verse that everyone conveniently forgets about. And that's where they use some stuff they found in a crater to make Humpty into something much greater. And
robots.
Let's just say by the end, Robo Egg. Yeah. And then, of course, there is no Vamoose without the man. These are Thunderguts and Sputnik. This is by Nick May. My man. My brother from another mother.
I enjoyed this one.
What the dickens.
And Nick, if you're watching, I got a phone call from Gary at Reverie today, and he said, "What's going on with Nick May? Golly, he's putting in some work lately, isn't he?" So just... and then... The man who invented putting in work, Dave Dye.
Dave, yeah.
Absolutely honored to have Dave in the book.
That is cool.
Very cool.
He does a 4-page story that's two dudes escaping. I just got a message, and I don't know who from. It says, "Fully backed. I'm punching the air in excitement for you." Wow.
That is awesome.
I'm about to write back, "New phone, who dis?" Chris
Ooh, Space
McCann
Robots.
and Nicole Kane. Absolutely
Beautiful.
put together a masterpiece.
Nice.
With, as you can see there's a rowboat and there's a robot. What? And then friends of the show, Peter Wilson and Robbie Donaldson. They do a story that's dark, humorous,
Obsolescence.
doesn't go where you're thinking. Rollicking good times. Another friend of the show. I think we can recognize that. It's Alex Major.
Yep.
No words, just birds.
That is so cool. So cool.
And then, of course, yes, I don't have everything uploaded, but there's stuff from Beck Halley, Millie Holton, Ben Sullivan, Hayden Spurrell. I hope I'm not forgetting anyone. And then there's Herb in the shower. Oh,
Ooh,
look
sexy.
Look at that guy.
Good old
What a way to end the show.
Yeah. Oh, and then
oh, sorry.
Frederick Sizzle. Frederick Cheloney and the Devil's Toilet. They meet. They get up to some hijinks. It's a good time. Check them out now on Kickstarter.
Check them
Fully
out.
funded, apparently. What?
Fully funded. Oh, yeah, you got to update your little picture with fully funded.
Yeah.
And stickers and such. All right. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you both so much.
In that you're still here, you will cop an earful of the final promo from me for Shadow's Daughter. It is still on, and I'm going to quickly don't break it, don't break it, don't break it, don't break it. I'm going to not break it, and I'm going to go here. Are we seeing this? Yes.
Yes, we are.
I'm seeing it.
So there are 9 stretch goals unlocked. I've run out of stretch goals, so there's no more. Just a reminder, anyone that's backed, you can also back a little extra to get your name in this awesome kind of back page for the issue. There is 6 main issues, lots of different covers. Sorry, there we are. Six issues, 4 black and white, 2 color. Any Aussie that backs this campaign also gets a free comic that hasn't been released yet to the wild. And there's, some of the things that are on offer. So, but it's 9 hours left. So now's the time to get in if you want to back this once in a lifetime opportunity and take your place in history and other things that people say about things that they want to flog. And that is my last word on that one for now. Thank you very much.
What's next for you then? Once that wraps up. Thanks, Pete.
Well, thanks for asking, Spedsy. That's a great question. And the answer is, once that one's fully done, Enmity is the next one. Hard to say, fun to read. So Enmity, and it's going to be I'm aiming for a similar sort of thing. I want to try and get 6 books before I launch it. So it's a nice meaty kind of thing. So Enmity will be coming back. And then after that one, Super Secret Squirrel, big project, super excited about it, but I'm not going to say anything until way later because it's one of those swing big, hit and miss kind of things, kind of like Sluggish was for you. It's one of those ones that it's not my normal thing. And
except yours is a squirrel that's a secret agent with superpowers. I get it.
Super squirrel. And they sees through time and only eats onions. It's a deep book, with a lot of layers. Onions.
Hey.
Layers.
Hard to digest for squirrels, I imagine.
They are, because they have little squirrel innards. Yep. So you don't just get comics, literature, you get a bit of biology, Nice. There's something for everyone in the show. Final thing I forgot to do. Sizzle, you got a question for Spedsy before we go?
No.
Final question? Okay. Just no. All right. That's fair enough.
No. What's it feel like to be so awesome? That'd be about it. I'm sorry. That's all I got.
There you go. Does it feel good?
Yeah, it feels great.
Nice.
The most awkward answer of the night. Cool. All right. Well, this was a weird one. This was a nice, fun, weird one.
Yeah,
but it didn't follow any of the normal rules.
I'm the goose. You want to get loose? Bring me to the party. Let's get cracking.
Goose loose. Well, thank you, sir. Thanks, Sizzle.
My pleasure. Thank you both, not just for tonight, but for everything through just everything.
You are
most both been amazing. Pleasure to have met you both, know you both,
It's easy to be amazing to someone who's so amazing. So it's all good.
We're all just.
We need love hearts to be coming across the
Yeah, big love. Other way. You play. What do you call it? Promoted yours. So I'm just going to throw mine in there. It's not technically mine, but it is ComX. So go over and check out this link, vivian.comx.studio. You get the collection of the Vivian stories that were in the Presents comics, but you get more. There's more story, there's more art, there's more sketchbook, there's more info, there's all lots of stuff. So go over there. It's cheap as chips.
It is.
Yeah, he is underselling himself. So take advantage of that and buy his books cheaper than they should be.
Yeah, and I believe actually one of the stretch goals will be a Vivian print by me. So I would like to draw that giraffe again. So let's get this thing over the line into the stretchies so that I am allowed to draw him.
Excellent.
Nice.
And just quietly, if it's a success, then we're one step closer to Detective Budgie, Vivian, and Frederick Trelawney crossover.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So many crossovers.
Yeah. We just need someone to draw it. So Gary Challoner, if you're watching, we need 48 pages by the end of May. Kickstarter goes live.
Yeah. No pressure.
Book it.
Or Glenn Lubston. I'm not that fussy. One of the two best artists in Australia will be required.
Well, just before we go, again, I'll just reiterate, for those that missed it, you're looking for artists, you're looking in the right space. Granny Perfume, ladies and gentlemen. Granny Perfume.
Granny Perfume. Yeah.
And that's not her blue rinse that's leaking from her memories.
I've got a book like that too.
Oh, Granny Perfume.
I've got a weirder book.
But it starts with
please don't show that dog picture, Spedsy. Oh, yes, of course. Oh, see, all yours going to books.
Some of them I did on the iPad, so they're not in here.
Yeah, I did.
Here's a Spedsy one.
Hey.
Yeah.
I don't know what that red thing on the shirt's meant to be because it's sort of blurred and the ink ran. And
we need a Kickstarter for our crappy drawings.
Detective Budgie. Oh, my thing's going all weird. Detective Budgie. I didn't get a chance to ink him. So nice. He's very vague picture there.
I got this book from my sister-in-law, my brother's partner. So that's a man with a snail, and she's got a head of lettuce.
Cabbage? A head of lettuce.
Cabbage, yeah. And then, that one's a bit. There's a guy playing basketball. I don't know what there's an elephant trunk. So when your sister-in-law says, "I've got a cool book for you," and
did she do the whole? I saw this and I thought of you. Was that the thing? Immediately? I thought
which one? I mean, look at this guy. That's some quality archery right there.
Oh wow!
The other guy's juggling some boobs.
I don't.
What's the rating on this show? Because I have brought it.
It's a different rating now.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, that's us, I think.
Tune in to Drink and Draw this Friday. Angie Spice, Geraldine Barker, I want to say. Let's just go with Geraldine because I can't remember her last name. From Courier. So, another fun episode. Let's do it to it. See you Friday.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Peeps.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for backing it, getting me across the line tonight. That's insane. Awesome.
Pleasure.
I'm going to hide behind the Vivian.